Hey, Mackenzie here. Welcome to week 6 of my 12 and 12 challenge. We've reached the halfway point. 6 applications have been built and only 6 more to go until we are finished with this 12 and 12 challenge. This week I built a pretty simple application. It's a to-do list, pretty much the hello world of Rails tutorials. So we have multiple lists and multiple to-do items for each list, and then the ability to check on or off if the item has been completed or not. So let's dive in. I'll quickly show you what it's going to look like and we will start coding. Alrighty guys, let's take a look at what we can be building. So this is my to-do list application. We have multiple lists, and within each list we have multiple to-do items, and then the ability to check an item off if it's finished, as well delete an item. This week I spent a bit more time on what the app actually looks like, and I think it came out pretty nice. Obviously we have the ability to add to-do items. Another to-do item. So it looks pretty sweet. I'm going to show you how we go about building it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my terminal. I'm going to bump up the size quite a bit. And the size as well. All right, so I'm going to get out of the Rails server by doing Control-C. Then I'm going to CD into my 12 and 12 directory. So from here, we are going to create our new to-do application. So I'm going to do Rails new to-do. And that will create all of the necessary files for the skeleton of our application. From here, we'll CD into our to-do app. Clear that. I'm going to go into, I'm going to run the Rails server. Then if I go back to localhost, refresh, welcome aboard, we're writing Ruby on Rails. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to go into my other tab and CD into my 12 and 12 into the to-do app. All right, then from here, I'm going to initialize it in Git. And then I'm going to do Git status, Git add all by doing Git add dot, Git commit with the message initial commit. Alrighty, we're ready to rock. So to start, we are going to quickly create the ability to add to-do lists, and we're going to do that by generating a to-do list scaffold. So we're going to do Rails generate to-do underscore list scaffold, or no, Rails generate scaffold to-do underscore list, and then we want a title, which is going to be a string, and a description, which is going to be text. And then we want to do rake db :migrate. Then from here, let's confirm this worked. We'll go to /to-do underscore lists. All right, and now we have the ability to create a new to-do list. I'll just say 12 and 12, week 6. Then stuff I need to do for week 6 of my 12 and 12 challenge. Create to-do list. Alrighty, that's working great. So let's go ahead and open up the app in Sublime Text. I'm going to do Sublime dot. I'll make this full screen. All right, so next thing I want to do is I'm going to open up the routes file, clear all the comments because we don't need these. And then I want to root the, or make the root of the application the to-do list controller and the index action. So now if we just go to /localhost, it will list out all of our to-dos. All right, so we have to-do lists. Next thing we want to do is generate a model for our to-do items. So I'm going to go back into our terminal. I'm just going to clear it. I'm going to do Rails generate model to-do underscore item. And then the model's going to have where each to-do item's going to have content, which is just going to be a string. And then we're going to reference the to-do list by doing to-do list : references. All right, so Rails generate model to-do item, content string, to-do list references. All right, that looks good. And then if you want to take a look at what that created for us, you can go under the database or db/migrate, and you can see it created a create table to-do items with the content as a string, and it references the to-do list. And if you go under app models to-do list or to-do item.rb, you can see it belongs to to-do list. All right, so let's do a rake db migrate to migrate our database. Then from here, we want to add an association between the to-do item and the to-do list. So the to-do item already belongs to a to-do list, and a to-do list has many to-do underscore items. Right, save that. Then we also want to create some routes for our to-do items. These are going to be nested routes. So we're under resources to-do list. We're going to add a block. We're going to do resources to-do items, and then end that. And you can see that the routes it created by doing rake routes. And if you look, all the to-do items are nested under the to-do list. So in the URL, it goes to-do list, then it grabs the to-do list ID, then it grabs the to-do items, then a to-do item ID. And we want to do it this way because obviously we don't want to just have a to-do item. We only want a to-do item that is that belongs to a to-do list. So if there's no list, there shouldn't be to-do items. All right, next thing we want to do is generate a controller for our to-do items. So we're going to do Rails G controller to-do underscore items. Right, and we want the ability to create our to-do items. So let's close out of these and then open up our controllers, to-do items controller. Let's create a create method. So def create and then end. Then in here, we're going to do @to-do underscore list equals to-do list dot find with the params of to-do underscore list ID. Right, then we'll drop to the next line. We'll do @to-do underscore item equals @to-do list dot to-do items dot create with params of to-do item. To-do item dot permit, and we're permitting the content, which if you go under db migrate, we created the content as a string in our database. So actually, you know what? We should probably do, I'm going to create a private method, and I wanted to create two methods. One for the setting the to-do list and one for setting the to-do items. So I'm going to do set to-do underscore list, and then we're going to just copy this and then end. And then another one, we want to create to-do item params. And that params is going to be right here. Params to-do item dot permit content end. Then this is going to change to to-do item params. And then for this, we want to create a before action. So before action, we want to set to-do list. All right, so we can go ahead and remove that. Next, we want, after we create a to-do item, so we create it under the to-do list, to-do item.create, we want to redirect _to the to-do list path at to-do list, which actually I believe it can be just at to-do list. So save that. All right, so we have the action to create a new to-do, but we don't have a form to actually create that. So what we need to do is go under our views. We need to create two partials under the to-do items. I'm going to create a new file, save it. First one's going to be _to-do item .html.erb. And then the next one is going to be _form.html.erb. All right, so in the form, what we want to do is create a form for. So we're going to do form _for, and then we want to first find the to-do list, and then we're going to do at to-do _list .to-do items .build, and then do F, and we're going to close that. Then we'll come down to the bottom and end it. All right, so in here we want two things. We want f.text field, and that's going to be a content, and we're going to add the placeholder of new to do. And then we also want a f.submit. All right, so I'm going to save that. All right, then in the to-do item.html.erb, for now, we're just going to wrap a p tag, and inside of it, we're going to put to-do _item.content. May seem a little weird to put just this in a partial, but later on, we are going to add much more to this, which is why we are creating the partial right now. So next, what we want to do is show the form as well as the to-do items under the to-do list show page. So under the title and description, I'm just gonna pop down here. I'm gonna do ID of to-do items wrapper. I just want to render out. So we want to grab the at to list.to-do _items, and that will grab it from the _to-do items.html.erb. And then inside of a ID of form, we're going to render the to-do _item/form. And that will go under to-do items/form and grab that partial. So I believe if we save this, let's go refresh this, go to the show page. So now you can see we have the title, description, and a new to-do form. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test it out and see if it works. So I'll say first to-do item. Awesome. So you can see that lists out the to-do item. Let's do another. Very cool. So that's all working. I also want the ability to delete a to-do item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the _to-do item.html.erb, and I'm just going to add the ability to, or add a link to the to-do _list _to-do _item _path. And then we're going to find the to-do list, and then we're going to find the to-do _item.id. And then it's going to be a method of delete with the data, and we're just going to confirm, are you sure? And then that's going to be it for now. So let's save that. To do items. Oops, we didn't put what we want to do is add delete. There we go. So if we tried to do that, I believe we'd get an error because under our to-do items controller, we don't have a method to destroy a to-do item. So let's create that. So we'll do def destroy end. Then inside of here, we want to grab the to-do item at to-do underscore item equals at to-do underscore list dot to do items dot find with the params of ID. Then we want to do if at to do item dot destroy. We'll flash the message, success message of to do list item was deleted. Else flash error and say to do list item could not be deleted. Let's add a period there as well. Then we're going to end that, and then we want to redirect to the at to do underscore list. So after we hit delete, we want it to route back to this page. So let's save that and test it out. Refresh. Let's try to delete the first item. Delete that. Are you sure? Yeah. Awesome. That deleted it for us. Very cool. So next, we want the ability to mark a item as complete. So there's several steps to do this. We're going to begin. Well, actually, let's see what we've done so far. We've done quite a bit. So we've added to do lists and to do items. So I'm going to do git commit with the message, or no, git add dot to add all the files. Git commit with the message. Right, added to do list and to do items. All right, so from here, we're on a working directory clean. Awesome. So what we're going to do next is we want to add a migration to add a completed at date time to our to-do items table. So what we're going to do is Rails generate migration. We want to add completed underscore at to do items, and then the completed at is going to be date time. Then if you want to open that up and take a look, it's under DB migrate. It's the last one. So what this is doing, it's adding a column to the to-do items, and it's completed at, which is a date time format. All right, so here we're going to do rake db :migrate again to migrate our database. Next, we need to add some routes for, let me just close all these real quick. All right, so we need to add a route for the ability to mark as complete. So under config routes.rb, what we're going to do is under to do items, we're going to create a block there. And inside that, we're going to do member do end. Then inside the member block, we're going to patch complete. Then if you go and do rake routes in your terminal, you can see up top complete to do list to do item path was created for us. So we want to create a to do, or add the ability to make a to do item complete. So under our views, to do list and show, actually no, I'm sorry, to do items, to do item.html.erb, let's quickly do a link underscore to, and we're going to grab that route, complete to do list to do item, right, and we're going to do mark as complete to do list path, and then we're going to grab the to do list with the to-do underscore item dot ID. And then this is going to be a method of patch. And I believe that's it. So let's save that. All right, so you can see we now have the ability to mark it as complete. Next, we need to add a complete action in our to-do items controller. So let's go under controllers, to-do items controller. At the bottom, let's create a def complete. And then what we want to do in here is find the to-do item. Since this is going to be used on multiple ones, what we're going to do is create a private method def set to do item end, and then we want a before action of set to do item, except we don't want it on the create method. All right, then so we are grabbing the to do item with the at to do list dot to do items find param ID. So next, well, we can remove it from the destroy as well. So under complete, we want to do at to do item dot update attribute completed at time dot now. So when we hit mark complete, we want the completed at time to be what time it is right now. And then after that, we want to redirect underscore to at to do list with the notice of to do item completed. So let's save that. All right, let's try to mark it as complete. All right, so we didn't get any errors, but obviously nothing happened just yet. It is marked as complete, but we don't have anything that changes when it's marked as complete. So what I want to do next is clean up this file. I'm just going to start down at the bottom. What we're going to do is add a row with a clear fix class as well. And then in here, we're going to do if to do underscore item dot completed question mark. We are going to do class complete tab. Then we're going to do a link to complete to do underscore list items path. Then we're gonna, no, I'll just copy this. All right, and then if it's completed, we also want to have a class of to do item. And here we're going to add a p tag. What we're going to do is add a strike class. And then inside the strike, we're going to do the to do item, to do underscore item dot content. Close that. And then in here, we're going to add a class of trash with the link to delete. So I'm just going to copy that and we'll close it. All right, so if it's completed, we want this to happen. Then under here, we're going to do else, tab that over. We pretty much want all of this. So I'm just going to copy this. This may not be the best way to do it because there's a lot of duplication, but I think it's fine for now. And then we're going to end it. And then we want to remove the strike. And one thing on here, in addition to the strike, we want to add a style attribute of opacity 0.4. Close that. All right, let's save that. So the let's delete these as well. The to-do item dot completed. We can't just use that as is. We need to define what that is inside of our model. So under our models, to-do item, we're going to drop down and define that. Def completed, end. So if it's completed, the completed at underscore at should not be blank. So what we're going to do is pound completed at dot blank. So if it's completed, the completed at field is not blank. So let's save that and go back, refresh. There we go. So let's create another to-do item, another one. You can see this one has the strike through and the opacity is darkened a bit or dropped a bit. And this one is not completed, so it's not. Awesome. So we can mark this one as complete and you can see another one. Very cool. Everything's working good. So we have the ability to do just about everything. We have the ability to create new to-do list and multiple to-do items within that list. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make it look quite a bit nicer. So what I'm going to do is go into the terminal. We're going to do get status. All right, so we're going to do get add dot get commit with the message ability. We'll do mark as complete ability. All right. Very cool. So next, let's start on the styling. Let's close these. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up asset style sheet application.css. First thing I'm going to do is rename that to a .scss extension so we can use Sass. The scaffolds.css, I'm going to delete that. To-do items.css, delete that. To-do list, delete that as well. All right, I'm just going to copy and paste some styles I wrote for this application. And then quickly, I'll just give you a little overview. Let's get the syntax highlighting going too. All right, so we have a few variables defined. And then we got the gradient on our background, a clear fix, and then this sets the container. And then all of these just are for the actual to-do lists and the forms. So if you want to look more into this, just find the link to the GitHub repository, which will be in the description below. All right, so I'm going to save that. And then in our views, let's see, first thing, let's go under layouts, application.html.erb. So only thing I want to do here is I want to add a class of container and wrap that around our yield. Save that. All right, let's just close it. We can close this as well. All right, next let's take care of the index. So to-do list and then index.html.erb. Just drop this stuff down. What we want is a loop through the to-do lists, to-do underscore list.each do to-do list, and then we will end that. Then inside of this, we want a class of index underscore row with also a clear fix. And then we want an h2 with the class of to-do list title. And then inside of that, we're going to add a link to link underscore to-do list title. And then that is going to route to the to-do list. And then below that, we're going to do a p tag with the class of to-do underscore list underscore sub underscore title. And then we are going to do to-do underscore list dot description. Then below that, we're going to do a class of links, and we're going to add a link to a new to-do list, and that's going to go to the new to-do list path. Right, and then we will just delete all that down there, save that. Now let's go to /localhost. Awesome. You can see the background's got the nice gradient. We got our to-do list, the description, ability to create a new to-do list. Let's click on that. So this looks pretty awful. Two things we need to do. One is inside of our application.html.erb, there's two things we need to add. One, I used a Google font as well as a Font Awesome font for the icons. So you can find these by Googling. I just use the Lato font. So if you go to Google Fonts, I just picked the Lato and then open Lato in Google Fonts. I think I picked light, normal, and bold, and then I just grabbed the link. And then the Font Awesome you can find on Fonts Awesome. I don't really know the URL. There we go. It's fontawesome.github.io. And then if you go to the, I believe Getting Started has a link to their Mac CDN. So I just added both of those to our application.html.erb inside the head. So I'm going to save that. So the font should change. Refresh that. Yeah, you can see this got a little bit lighter. Let's go back. All right. So to take care of these, I'm going to change these to the icons first. So let's go to our to-do items, to-do item.html.erb. All right, so let's start with the mark as complete. A few things on this is, one, we're going to remove the mark as complete, and it's just going to link to the path. And then this is going to become a block. So we're going to add do at the end and then come down here and end it. Then inside here, we want to add the I with the style opacity, same as this. So I'll just copy this. And then we are going to do class of, this is Font Awesome, by the way, FA and FA check. And then we'll close it, save that. Let's go back and refresh. Alrighty, you can see the check mark now is replaced, or the mark as complete is now replaced as the check mark. Another to-do item. All right, so you can see it still says mark as complete. That's because we need to copy this and do the same for this one. But the difference is we do not want the style opacity. So we'll remove that. All right, the next is the delete. So we're going to remove the delete, and it's just going to go to the to-do items path, method delete. Then this is going to be a block. So we'll add do at the end, come down, and end that. And then we're going to add another I with a class of FA and FA-trash. Save that, refresh. Did I misspell something? Yes, 3 S's in class. That is not correct. Refresh, there we go. Now the trash is showing up. Let's try to delete one. Very cool. So now we are going to copy this, come down here, paste that, save, refresh. Very cool. Next thing we want to do is take care of the links. So under our to-do list show.html.erb, let's clean this page up a bit. So up top, we're going to add an h2 with the class of we're going to do to-do underscore list underscore title. And then we are going to print out the @todo list dot title. And then under here, we're going to do a p tag with the class of to-do list subtitle. And we're going to do @todo list dot description. All right, so that's good. Let's remove these because we don't need both. We have the to-do items wrapper. So next thing we need to do is add a class of links and add the ability to add those links inside of there. Let's refresh. All right, that's looking great. One thing I did notice is I forgot to add a link to delete the list if we wanted to. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to add a link to delete. Then we're going to go to the to-do list path @to-do list with the method of delete and the data. And we're going to confirm, are you sure? And then we'll just put another pipe at the end as well. Give space between that. Save, refresh. Awesome. The to-do, let's go under our controllers and make sure to-do item, to-do list controller. All right, so the destroy method was created by our scaffold, but we don't want to redirect to the to-do list path. We want to go to the root URL if they delete the list, and then go under the to-do items. Yeah, those to-do, those redirects look good. Let's go back, create a new to-do list. I'm just gonna say test to-do list, and I'm gonna create this and then delete it. All right, so that's all working. So next thing we want to do is the forms. So let's go under our new.html.erb under the to-do lists. And on here, we're going to add a class to the h1, class of to-do list title. And then it's not going to be new to-do list, or not to-do underscore list. We'll just do to-do list. All right, then around the render forms, we're going to add a div with the class of forms. Put that inside. And then under here, or around the link, we're going to add a class of links. Save that. Let's go back to home page, new URL, or new to-do list. Yeah, that looks pretty great. All right, now let's go back. Let's go to the first one. Let's edit this. Now we need to, I'm just going to copy this, go to the edit.html.erb. All right, and I'm just going to change new to-do list to edit to-do list. The form's going to be the same. Let's change back to cancel instead. And then I believe we don't really need a show page, because if you hit cancel, it'll just go back. So let's save that, refresh. There we go. Cancel. Very cool. New to-do list. Let's say house stuff. Stuff I need to do around the house. Create to-do list. Let's say I know I need to mow the lawn. I need to, I don't know, laundry maybe. Very cool. This is looking great. One thing I didn't style right here was the to-do item, the alert. So what I'm going to do is just write a quick class to style that. So let's do, right here I'm in the Chrome DevTools. So I'm grabbing the P with the ID of notice. So let's say text align center. And then let's make the font size quite a bit smaller, maybe 0.8 em, maybe smaller than that, 0.7, 0.6 is good. All right, then the color, do maybe white. Font weight 100. Maybe we should add a border around it for some emphasis. So 1 pixel solid. That's not what we want. Let's just do a white border, maybe padding 0.5 em and 1 em. We're gonna try to do display block margin 0 auto. That didn't work. So I'll just do, I kind of like the border though. Maybe let's add a border radius. Border dash radius, 5 pixels. Margin 0 and 5%. 15%. That looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all these styles. Then it's the ID of notice. So under the application or app assets style sheets, application.css, it's inside of our container. I'll just add it above or below the clear fix. So ID of notice, and paste all those in. I'm actually going to change the color from white to the dark variable. And then the border, instead of that, I'm going to do the white opaque. Where'd it go? Here we go. Add the variable, save that, go back. Okay, let's close out of the dev tools. Let's add another to do, another one. And let's check that one off. All right, to do item completed. That looks pretty good. Let's delete one. Very cool. This is looking pretty great. Everything's styled. It's looking pretty good. We have the ability to create to-do list and to-do items. We have the ability to check an item off, delete an item, create new ones. The forms look pretty decent. All right. Well, I think we are done. Let's go ahead and do one last commit, get status. All right, and we'll do git add dot git commit with the message styled or finish styling. Actually, finish structure and styles. That's more a bit more descriptive. Sweet guys, we're all finished building our to-do list application. As always, if you have any questions or comments on this week's app, find me on Twitter. It's @McKinseyChild. Or if you want to follow along for more, just find my blog or sign up for my newsletter on my website. It's mckinseychild.me. All right, see you guys next week.